Yo, 1 2 1 2. It's Vinnie Paz. Yo, it's been a minute. Assalamu alaikum. Peace. Blessings. God bless all of y'all. Uh, yeah, well, I just said it's been a minute because it has been. Um, I've been on the road. It's, the summer's over now, or almost, I guess, technically speaking. Um, not actually sure what the last day of summer is, but it's early September right now. So I wrote some stuff down because I'll be forgetting in some of these videos what my original intent. My memory's not like what it used to be. So first and foremost, I wanted to thank everybody in Europe, at Hip Hop Camp, at Royal Arena Festival, at Out for Fame, three humongous festivals overseas with artists from all over the world, major label, independent, everything, to celebrate hip hop culture. It was great to be over there. I spent lots of time with my friends in DITC, my brothers in DITC. So big up Boogie Blind, my brother Lord Finesse, AG, OC, Diamond D. God bless your brothers. It was fun. I can't say much more than that. Not on camera. It was fun though. Farrell Monch, what up, bro? Yeah, it was great over there. Busta Rhymes. So many great artists. And I want to thank 7L and Esoteric for holding me down. And then we came home and went right to Canada. And from Canada, we went to Chicago to do the Breaks Festival with Tech Nine, Immortal Technique, Red and Meth, Ritz, Cameron, lots of other great artists. And that was beautiful too. So thank you. And Canada, thank y'all so much for everybody coming out. All the crowd impact, sold out shows. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. So yeah, that's why I've been going for making the videos. It's too hard for me to do these on the road because it's time consuming and I talk a lot. So I don't have the time on the road. So what else? I'm just letting y'all know primarily in this video I'm gonna be talking about boxing, the Superfly card on HBO, and the forthcoming it's fight week, Canelo-Gennady Golovkin fight. So I'll talk about the music stuff, and if you're not into boxing, you can turn it off then. Because I'm giving y'all a brief update on the music shit. So I've told y'all Heavy Metal Kings is done. Release date is October 27th. The cover has been released. I was told that the track listing will be released soon. I'm not sure that we wanted to do that, but it's something that retail requires, Amazon and the like. So y'all have the track listing to that as well. Maybe by the time this drops, I'm not sure. Black God, White Devil, Heavy Metal Kings, October 27th. Stoop and I are done the next Jedi Mind Tricks record. It's called The Bridge in the Abyss. Not sure how much I can tell you all about it. It's a continuation of the last record, conceptually speaking. Mega proud of it. Mega proud of Stoop and his continual growth as a producer and being one of the best. Honored and blessed to have to work with one of my favorite producers my whole career. The reason that I'm here. And he was on this tour in Canada too. He doesn't tour much because he doesn't fly. He's scared to fly. So he drove out with my man Sleazy and met us. That was mad fun. Chicago was mad fun. So yeah, Heavy Metal Kings, super soon, man, a few weeks. And then JMT in like March, April of 2018, and I'm already like 8 to 10 songs into my next solo album. Um, Not sure if I can tell you who's producing on there yet. I got joints that are. I already have a few joints that might be singles. Um, I'm mad excited about it. I'm excited about it because it's what I'm currently doing. Um, recording wise, that's where my mind is at. I think you're usually most excited with uh, whatever you're currently working on. You know what I mean? Because once HMK comes out, then I'll get re-excited about that because y'all will hear it. You know what I mean? Bill and I have heard it and been tinkering with it for a long time now. So, and that record is super grim and dark. The Heavy Metal King record. Um, it's really a grim record. Me, Bill, and Gore-Tex were speaking about how dark of a record it actually is. I don't know that we were cognizant of it when we were making it, but when I listened to it, I was like, ooh, this is a grim record. Um, so yeah, so we have HMK in October, JMT in early 2018, March, April, whatever, you know, is best from a business perspective. And then, either later in 2018, my record, or the top of the next year. Again, it's all what makes business sense. Don't want to push too much on y'all at one time. You know what I mean? I'm just glad y'all are still here and still interested and still coming out to the shows and buying merch and all of that. I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. Like I said, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're gonna drop a video for a song called "Merciful Fate." It's from Heavy Metal Kings. It's Bill, myself, and Gore-Tex on there. A video Gore-Tex and one of his homies from South America worked on. That's called Merciful Fate. And then we have a joint called Bad Hombres. We're shooting a video for that in the coming weeks. So we'll have 2 Heavy Metal Kings videos too. And I forgot about that, to mention that. That's why I have this. So this past Saturday was a card on HBO called Superfly. It highlighted 6 of the best 115 pounders in the world. Just a stacked card for boxing heads. With all of the circus that surrounded McGregor and Floyd. Boxing purists were waiting for that to end so that things could get back to business and highlight prime fighters fighting other prime fighters and getting the proper exposure, as opposed to a 40-year-old retired fighter and a guy who has no business in a boxing ring. So now that that's over, it's back to business. You had Juan Francisco Estrada and Carlos Cuadra. I thought it was going to be a scraps. Cuadra fought a Chocolatito, and a lot of people thought he won. I didn't. But these guys went to fucking war. I thought I think it could potentially be a Fight of the Year candidate, but we'll see, as it's only September. But Estrada got the decision like I thought he should have. So I've been talking about Naoya Inoue from Japan for a couple years now. I've been championing this kid, but it's hard to champion someone when they don't fight on U.S. television or U.S. soil. So it's kind of been falling on deaf ears. I've had him in my pound for pound list, but again, it's hard to sell a casual fan on somebody when that fighter's not getting U.S. television exposure. This was his first time on U.S. TV. I wanted and expected him to put on a show and to destroy Antonio Nieves. And it's what he did, and he just destroyed this guy to the body. For kids that are young and want to fight, please go to the body. Um, my uncle told me that. Uh, it's one of the first thing I learned as a fighter. It's a lost art, and body work is basically putting money in the bank for later. Um, but yeah, he destroyed him. He looked like the monster. It's his nickname is the monster. If you don't know him, check him out. Naoya Inoue from Japan. The kid is a beast. That leads to Sorung Vinsai and Chocolatito. Chocolatito, one of my favorite fighters of the past decade. Um, at the at the top or in the top 2, 3 of my pound for pound list for years now. I was actually at this the rematch of this is the rematch. The first fight was the undercard of Golovkin Jacobs, a fight I was at. I was ringside at that fight. I thought Chocolatito won. They gave the fight to Rungvisai. It was a war. Again, that could have been fight of the year. It was up there in a lot of people's fight of the year. I know that for a fact. It was in a lot of people's fight of the year. It was in contention. But it was rough. I thought Chocolatito would come back hungry. I thought he would come back with fire. He came back with neither. And that's a sign to me that it's time for him to hang him up, because this guy has fought with nothing but hunger and fire for his entire career. This guy started at strawweight at 105, just blowing out top competition, punches and bunches, body work, beautiful footwork, cutting off the ring. Again, one of my favorite fighters of the past 10 years. To me, it looked like he was Rungvisai. He had more snap on his punches. There were certain times where they would trade, and Chocolatito was throwing. He was sitting down on his shots. It just looked like he had no mustard on his shots. Rungvisai was walking through them. He got dropped and hurt. Got back up like he always does. Bang. Right on the button. Done. Over. To me, it's only his second loss. In reality, it's only his first loss. Chocolatito. And I saw a lot of people when I said that he should retire on Twitter. A lot of people said, no, Paz. No, he's got more gas in the tank. He's only 30. Now, that lets me know that you're not a boxing purist, because you would know at these light weights, these very light weights, 30 years old is old. Yeah, Bernard fought to 50. Yeah, Floyd fought till 40. Yeah, Archie Moore fought late. Foreman fought late. None of these dudes were in super light weights where they're destroying their bodies to cut weight. Chocolatito was destroying his body to make 112. He came up to 115, and just those 3 little pounds, the average person doesn't understand how big that is. Look, he's probably too small for 115, and he was in the sauna killing himself to make 112. The guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. What more else do you want? He's still got his wits about him. He's still got his faculties. He's healthy. He's a hero in Nicaragua. Why? If he wants to take a somewhat easier fight as a farewell in Nicaragua, I'm okay with that, of course. As a farewell. But as far as fighting these monsters, Rungvisai, as far as fighting Inoue, nah, man. Nah, it's gone. His body it's shop worn through too many wars, too many fights, too much weight cutting. So don't say that about a legend and a future Hall of Famer, that he should keep going. That's his choice. And as of right now, as I speak, he's contemplating retirement. So I'm not mad at that, but I'm not mad if he does like a farewell fight in Nicaragua. I'm alright with that as long as it's not against a monster because I don't want to see him hurt. Um, so that was heartbreaking for me to see Chocolatito just get starched basically. I didn't see that coming, but I should have. The signs were there. Um, if you paid attention, and sometimes when you love a fighter, you ignore those things, and I'm only human and I ignore them, and uh, that's unfortunate. I shouldn't do that. So the biggest fight in boxing for a few years now has been signed, sealed, and will be delivered this weekend, this Saturday. Um, it, I'd be hard pressed to think of the last time two guys at this level fought each other. You know, I mean, we had Ward and Kovalev, and you know that's two guys in everyone's in the world's top 10 pound for pound, and now it's happening again. It's like this sport is the gift that keeps on giving. You know, it'll break your heart sometimes, but when it gives you fights like this, it's like, you know, it's like the girl you keep going back to that you know is bad for you. That will always be boxing for me because Canelo and Triple G, you're talking about, you know, again, two guys in the top 10 in everyone's pound for pound. Triple G's in most people's top 5. He should be. So the question has been on my social media, my inboxes, my DMs, all of that. Who's going to win and what's going to happen? Look, this fight should have been made in 2015. That's the fact of the matter, okay? Golovkin is 35 now. If you don't think that's calculated, you're misinformed and you're very naive. If you don't think Oscar is a very smart businessman protecting his, no pun intended, golden boy, you're very naive. Am I building in an excuse because everybody knows I'm a Golovkin guy? No, because I'm a Canelo guy too. There's pictures of me rocking Canelo shirts. I'm a fan of Canelo. I always have been a fan of Canelo. Some of the catchweight shit I didn't like, but you know, so what? I'm not, whatever. I'm nobody. Who cares if I didn't like the catchweight shit? I just don't. I don't understand it. You know, pick a weight and fight at it. But look, to me, with a 35-year-old Golovkin as opposed to a 32, 33-year-old Golovkin, it is different. Things have changed from what I would have said had the fight happened when it should have. Oscar kept selling you on the fact that he needed to build it. He did need to build it. They were waiting for him to get older. I'm not saying the word old. I didn't use that word. I said older. And it's here. 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, when it should have happened, I'm not giving Canelo much of a chance. I wasn't then. I spoke about it. I spoke about it a lot. I was brazen about it. In boxing, 2 years is a lifetime. Ask any fighter how long 2 years is and what can happen in those 2 years. So now, now it's game plan. Now it is execution. I believe that a couple years ago, Triple G could have made mistakes and still overcome them. There are some fighters in a certain point of their career in their physical and mental prime where they could make mistakes and still beat you. An early Tyson is a prime example of that. There were certain times where just he was too much. Even through the mistakes, he was too much. Anybody that follows me, even if you're not a boxing fan, knows how I've been singing the praises of Golovkin for 5+ years. I started singing the praises before he was on US TV and was fighting in Germany. His amateur career is stellar. On the other side of that, Canelo, look, he learned on the job because he turned pro when he was 15 years old. So the kid is immensely experienced. Um, Look, uh, so let's talk about the fight, and the edges, and and who has the edge in certain areas. Something something glaring is Canelo's hand speed is better. What offsets that is timing. Triple G's timing. Um, I've rarely seen anyone with timing. They say timing can kill speed. The other thing is, we're talking about hand speed, and we're talking about Canelo will throw three, four, he'll get 3, 4, 5 shots off. Here's the thing: when you're doing that, when you're throwing lots of punches, or you're throwing punches at all, and you're sitting there in the pocket and throwing punches, that allows Golovkin to catch you in between those shots. That's deadly. That's a deadly place to be, which leads to this, the chin. Both of these guys got fucking granite chins. But Canelo has been hit by the harder, pardon. Golovkin, Triple G, the God of War, Golovkin has been hit by the harder punches. That's not up for debate. Lemieux might be the hardest puncher in the middleweight division outside of Golovkin. Just laughed at his shots. Curtis Stevens, devastating puncher. He laughed at his shots and waved them on. Daniel Jacobs, when Golovkin and Jacobs fought that night, Jacobs rehydrated to bigger than a light heavyweight. He was huge. Again, I was there. When you looked at these two men, they looked like men in two different weight divisions fighting. That's how much bigger Jacobs was than Golovkin on that night. This is also a guy who melted Peter Quillen. I'm not saying that that's a big deal, but what I'm saying is he didn't even stun Golovkin at any point. He walked through all of his shit. And speaking of the Jacobs fight, to me, that fight was won. Obviously, Golovkin let his hands go and knocked him down. But that whole fight was won on his jab, keeping him at a distance. Canelo and Triple G have similar reaches. Canelo doesn't fight tall at all. Not that he's a tall guy or that he's rangy, but really neither is Golovkin. We all know Canelo likes to be in the inside, bang to the body, touch you, rip to the body, touch, then commit. Just pepper you and then commit. Look, if Golovkin uses that stick and keeps Canelo on the end of his shots and fights a little bit from the outside, now these guys are going to mix it up. We all know that. All right, Mexican style, big drama show. That's what we want. All right, I want that too. But if Golovkin keeps him on the end of his punches, Canelo can't get inside and work. Long fucking night for Canelo. If Golovkin was to, I believe that plan is going to be attempted to be implemented. The problem is Golovkin is a sick maniac, and when he gets touched, he wants to go to war. If that goes out the window, this is a 50-50 fight. If they stand there and bang, look, it's going to be like two sick maniacs beating shit down each other's leg. That's what's going to happen if he gets hit and says, all right, you want to go to war, let's go to war. If Golovkin decides to stand on the edge, box like he can, to you motherfuckers who think he can't box, with 400 amateur wins, there's a certain demographic that thinks that for a certain reason. But I'm not going to get into that right now. If you think Gennady Golovkin cannot box, you didn't watch the David Lemieux fight, or you've never watched him fight in general, because he can sit there on the outside and pepper you with shots, and he gets hit too much and all of that shit. Look, it's all of these things it's going to be moot by the time the fight comes. But let me tell you something. When he let Willie Monroe hit him, look, man, the guy's all about fighting. He says this is not game, this is boxing, this is war. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand that some of the best fighters that ever lived got hit because of that metal, the cloth that they come from. Julio Cesar Chavez got hit. You know what I mean? Marvin Hagler got hit. Tommy Hearns got hit. These are all superb fighters. You know what I'm saying? A young generation that grew up on Mayweather and that style. It's a very defensive-minded style is to be appreciated, but that's not that isn't that isn't the blueprint for how things are done in terms of over 100 years, 100+ years of this fight. Um, you can be defensively responsible and still be an offensive fighter. That's something that a young Floyd did. When Floyd was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was brilliant defensively, but he moved his hands. As he got older and just became strictly defensive-minded, he would just pot shot. He would slip, throw a straight right, jab to the body. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it can't be beautiful. It can, but it can get boring, especially to a casual fan who wants people to go to war. You're not gonna have to fucking worry about these motherfuckers. Aren't gonna have to look hard to find each other. I'm telling you that now. I'm saying, look. Here's another thing I wanted to remind myself. Golovkin pumps that jab 20, 30 times around, which is a lot. It is a lot. He wins. He wins going away. He wins 8 rounds to 4. If he pumps that jab all night, just keeps it in his face, snapping him, because he doesn't paw with his jab. He snaps his jab. It snaps your head back, and when you snap, every time someone's ready to set and sit down on their shots, he hits them with that power jab, and they have to reset. They're not, after you get hit with the jab, you're not set to throw shots. That's why he disrupts everyone's rhythm. That's why dudes who said they were slick and they were going to box him, Willie Monroe said that, Dominic Quinn said it, no, not Dominic Quinn, Dominic Wade said it, that, well, I'll box him. Or what happens when he upsets your rhythm? What happens then? Rhythm is everything. This is, the entire sport is based on rhythm. And his jab is so powerful that it disrupts your rhythm. And you have to reset. And by the time you reset, this motherfucker's landing a monster right hand or a left to the body. You don't know what the fuck hit you. So, again, now, if Canelo has to get inside to win, in order to get inside, he's going to have to eat these shots. Can he eat the shots of a true middleweight? I don't know. What do y'all think? Can he take the shots of it? Their chins are crazy. We both know that. Look, I'm not sure if y'all remember Julian Jackson. In my opinion, he's the hardest puncher pound for pound of all time. When I was young and people were worshiping and idolizing Tyson, I idolized Julian the Hawk Jackson. Look him up if you haven't seen him. Julian Jackson, Julian the Hawk Jackson. Just put Julian Jackson knockouts if you want to see the hardest puncher that I've ever seen. His sons both fight. They're solid fighters. They're not great. Julius Jackson sparred with Golovkin, and he said he hits the hardest that he's ever been hit. I'm not sure if y'all know Ola Alfalabi. He was a cruiserweight. I'm not sure if he's retired or not. A good, solid fighter. Fought some good guys. I never really saw him hurt. I don't even think any of his losses were by knockout. So his chin was crazy. He said in an interview, you can look it up. This isn't, any fanboy or championing of Triple G, even though I do champion him. I also champion Canelo. He said Golovkin hits as hard as a heavyweight. I'm not sure that you can really wrap your head around the magnitude of that statement. That a fighter in the 160-pound division hits as hard as the heavyweights. Alpha Lobby had sparred with. That's insane. Look, I feel like, well, look, here's the thing. If you ever look at Canelo's back, there's lots of lactic acid. There's lots of lactic acid in his back, and he always fades. Even fights he looks great in, fights that he won easy, convincingly, shutouts, you can still see that he fades. That's due to the lactic acid. You can't fade against Triple G. If this fight is tight, or even Canelo is up early through the first 4-6 rounds, and it's looking good for Canelo, we're gonna start seeing these middle rounds could be, dare I say Hagler Hearns-esque. Maybe I'll look back on this video and say, how dare you have said that. But look, there's so many things at play. I've talked about all of them ad nauseum. I talked about that they waited a couple years later for Triple G. I've talked about that they both have solid chins. I've talked that Triple G needs to establish and stay on the jab. That Canelo, how he will win and can win is by getting on the inside, which means walking through those shots. Can he take that? We don't know, because he hasn't been hit by anyone like Triple G. Very few people have. We do know that Triple G can take those shots. Will Canelo fade? If he fades, I can see him being taken out. But again, not in brutal fashion, because his chin is so crazy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's accumulative. Look, it's a cop-out to say that it's 50-50 and I can't make a pick. But there's so many intangibles involved, such as there's no way Triple G is getting a close decision on a Golden Boy card in Las Vegas. Let's be real about that. He's 35, at the tail end of his career. Canelo is in his prime, and without Floyd is the biggest name in the sport. So in terms of what's good for boxing, who do you think is going to get a close decision? The guy who's going to carry the sport for the next 8 years, or a guy that has 3-4 big fights left in it? If it's close, he's not getting that decision. So again, pressing me for an outcome, it becomes very difficult because of these intangibles. If it's close, and it's a close Golovkin win, 7 rounds to 5, 8 rounds to 4, they're going to flip the scorecards, and he's not going to get the win. Flip side of that is, I don't know if he can stop him, because Canelo chin is crazy. So here's my prediction. A competitive fight that Golovkin takes over in the second half of the fight. A fairly convincing win for Golovkin, and a bad card, and Canelo gets the victory. That's my prediction. So I guess my actual prediction and what I think is going to happen are in direct conflict. I think Gennady Golovkin will win the fight in the eyes of fight fans, and that Canelo will get a decision. It's very unfortunate that I think that. I hope that I'm wrong. I also hope that if I'm wrong and Canelo destroys him, or any, there's really nothing that could happen that would be bad for the sport other than a robbery, and that's what I'm hoping doesn't happen. But if these motherfuckers go to war, two of the most honorable, honest, upstanding gentlemen in the sport, if these motherfuckers go to war, we all win. So if you're a Triple G fan, or you're a Canelo fan, or you're a fan of both like me, we're not gonna lose on Saturday. Um, and that's genuinely, I truly feel like that in my heart. I In this fight, Golovkin is my favorite current fighter, so I will be pulling for him. I'm also not delusional. I also would never say he's gonna blow him out. You know what I'm saying? Because I see people who are Team Canelo or Team Triple G, and it's funny to watch people say this one's gonna knock this one out, this one's gonna knock this one out. When in reality, it's probably gonna be close. You know, if either one of the, I mean, if there was a blowout, I'd be blown away. Um, if there was a late stoppage on either side, I don't think I'd be blown away. Um, but I don't know if either one of them can hurt the other one. So, like I said, this is a gun to my head because I talk so much shit all the time about boxing. My intent was to just not give my pick, and the fact of the matter is I put myself in a position of talking shit all the time because I love boxing so much that it would be super hypocritical of me to not make a pick, or at least not say this is what I think is gonna happen. I'm just gonna enjoy the fight. I'm not gonna tell you what I think is gonna happen. I think we're gonna have a good, close fight, bursts of greatness, power shots, very high level war, a very high level war that will look to us to appear to be a close victory for Gennady Golovkin, and Canelo gets the nod. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong in thinking that we won't have competent judges or corruption. But we all know that boxing it has been plagued with that historically. That's it. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me rant. I just get mad excited about boxing and great fights. And I hope y'all have a blessed week. And be safe on the night of the fight. I'm sure everyone's going to be drinking and burning and stuff like that. Be safe. Use an Uber or Lyft or something if everyone's getting together at the house, and stay at the house. But yeah, and make sure y'all support the fight too, man. Don't stream it. 10 of y'all are watching it. Everyone throw in a couple of dollars. Buy the pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? Support the real fights. Not circus acts. So I'm home for a while now from tour. I'm going to take a little bit of time off, so I'm going to be doing these videos more often. If you want to send questions, I'll start answering questions again. You can email info@jmthiphop.com, and in the subject, put questions for Paz, and I'll try to get around to them. As far as merch and music, and anything Vinnie Paz related or Jedi Mind Tricks related, you can go to jmthiphop.com. On Instagram, I'm BoxCutterPazzy. On Twitter, it's Vinnie_Paz. Facebook, Vinnie Paz. Facebook, Jedi Mind Tricks. I think that's everything. But salam alaikum. God bless all of y'all. Have a blessed week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the fights with people you love. But first and foremost, be safe. But enjoy the fights. I'll see y'all soon.